Well, it's been a while. I'm not exactly sure what to say, but right, I just wanted to give a life update, and also, in conjunction to that, expound upon what I learned from my mother's passing away. Now, I remember I wrote a whole list of things, but that was like months ago. I only want to talk about one thing that actually matters, and it's that I'll just get straight to it. People are full of bullshit, and anything petty and useless. You just immediately know what your priorities are, and you just immediately discard anything that's useless. Wow, I phrased that really poorly. Um, Let me rephrase that. You know what your priorities are. That's it. When your mother passes away, as soon as you have any inkling of someone really important to you, someone who's around you, who's passing away, you start to realize what your priorities are. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit. So literally the day before my mother sent me the email telling us that she had cancer, I chose, in my mind, I had already settled on the idea that it's time to change jobs. It's time to move forward, trying to make it as a voice actor. Well, that didn't pan out the way I wanted, but in the end, I make a living. That's all you need to know. I thought it was funny to see that literally in the span of 2 days. Oh, the framing is all wrong. Literally in the span of 2 days, from when I chose to move to change my life, was when my mother's life was going to change to death. And I still find it kind of funny because it's a sort of cosmic drama that occurred, a sort of cosmic storytelling, like almost as though it was supposed to happen or something like that. As I was trying to pick myself up from, a relationship that didn't work out, and me just trying to have a solid career that I could bank on, and work hard towards. At that moment, I was going to lose my mother. And of course, up to today, what has happened is that my priorities have changed. Now, all I care about is making money, lots and lots of money, but also having wonderful children and having a wonderful wife. And therein, first, me being a wonderful person. My interest is in being a good person who can provide for a family. And now this is a different subject, but in short, I'll just say start really creating a sustainable family dynasty. Now, maybe I'll talk about that another day, but I think that's all you need to know. My mother was the head of the house, and now we're kind of displaced because we're, now that my mom's gone, too much has changed. Your priorities change. You now know what matters to you. Like as my mother was dying, every moment that I spent with her was so precious. It felt like gold. I would trade all the money, everything in the world just to have her come back, right? And of course, that's not possible. So what's the second best thing that I can do? It's to spend as much time as I can, reasonably so, with my dad and, the rest of my family. But more importantly, start my own family, find a wonderful wife and children, find a wonderful wife and have wonderful children, etc. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. And, ever since then, people have confided in me with their own problems, with breakups or exams that they didn't pass, or, I had to intervene on someone who, let's just say, had drug-induced psychosis. Everyone else has these major problems. I'm not here to detriment them, although I would. On paper, I would. but really, no. I genuinely. I mean, it's all part of living, right? So I don't want to belittle anyone. But those problems are so small, right? Those problems are so small to me. Losing someone is much more tragic, especially my mother, especially at a relatively young age. I I'm not young anymore, but I'm less young. Okay, I'm young at heart. I'm still a child internally. The priorities changed, and so I look at so many people, the things they tell me, the way they act, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I literally just do a 360 and moonwalk away, and it's just people are full of shit, and I just don't care anymore. All I hear about is family and starting my own family and being successful. I see okay, I seem to be saying the same thing over and over and over, but you know, I've been watching a lot of other people's contents, and especially in the last 3 years, what has happened is that a lot of people have talked about their family members dying. We all know, anyone with half a brain knows exactly why people are dying en masse. It does not take that much investigation. It does not take that much brain power to recognize why people are dying. Let's just say I won't be dying anytime soon. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. But I won't be dying the same way that my mother has, or many other people who have gone through cardiac arrest or myocarditis or pericarditis or cancer of any type, you know, which kind of wraps around back to what I want to say is that, as I was mentioning, in order to create a great family, I have to be a great father. And so that's kind of what I care about. And I hope that if you're watching this, that, like, man, I was meandering in my life before, you know, I mean, I was trying to become focused, but now that, I mean, the second we found out my mom had cancer, man, I just got snapped into place. I just got whipped and whipped by life. Yeah, I mean, it's just, people waste your time, and I just don't care anymore. I would rather be alone and not have any friends. Well, that's not true, but you know, you get my point. I would rather spend less time with other people, ensuring that my future is better and that my future progeny has become successful, than waste my time drinking and boozing and partying with other people. I don't really party, but you get my point. Like, I am all for success, and there's just an immense sense of urgency. That's what has changed. And it's funny because also in conjunction with that, I teach piano on the side, and I care very much about every pupil that I have come across. You know, before I was just subbing, but now I'm actually teaching regularly, and it's truly remarkable and wonderful to have an opportunity to be the tutor for these children. You know, and yeah, I guess that's the life update. That's the thing I learned that from my mom passing away. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff I can talk about, such as right, as I mentioned, family dynasty. Oh, here's another thing: uprooting my life and moving to another country in order to start a family. You know, that's one thing that's on my mind a lot these days, especially because of inflation. You know, but you know, I'm here to stay for my father, at least for the near future. But you know, something I think about a lot is, you know, when my parents, hell, even my brothers have uprooted themselves and settled into other countries. Here I am in my country. Here I am in Vancouver. My mother's grave is literally 5 minutes of driving away. And part of me is like, I don't want to leave because this is where I grew up. This is where my dad is. But at the same time, it's like, well, they left their country of origin. And of course, they brought their family too. But, you know, I think a lot about becoming diaspora once again, you know, especially if you have the capability to do so, why stay in the West? Yeah, I'm thinking about becoming a passport bro. But that's a discussion for another time. Yeah, so hopefully you snap yourself, whoever's watching this. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. Like, seriously, it's your man, it's just, people are just full of shit, myself included. You know, I'm very lucky and privileged to be where I am now. I'm very lucky and privileged to have had so much cushion and padding thanks to my mom and her excellent stewardship and her financial acuity, and just in general, just her being as straight and narrow as a person as she could. And having learned from her and having her impart that wisdom to me, and I just feel a sense of urgency to do the same for my future generations. So hopefully you learned something.